Number 6, embrace challenges. Kind of like the second point that we spoke into, like believe in yourself. I think it's important for you to embrace challenges and to understand that you're not always gonna feel totally like it's easy to do something. So what I mean is there's going to be many points in your life, like you have experienced so far, where you're going to be slightly scared of something that's about to happen, something that you could do. And the worst possible thing, you probably know this, right? When you've had a challenge that you feel a little bit scared about, if you've ever done the worst possible thing, you know it straight away. When you back out of that challenge and you don't even try because you got intimidated and you got scared and you just had this fear inside of you, that's the worst thing possible. As young men, I think we should embrace challenges. I think we should see some kind of challenge up ahead, whether it's this test coming up, whether it's this business or this competition or this thing that I've got to do, or maybe just record a video or go to this challenging workout. I think we should cue ourselves manually in our brains to think that we like challenges. We like to see how far we can push ourselves. This reminds me of what I've learned about testosterone. Andrew Huberman is a very famous scientist. You've probably seen him on YouTube, Huberman Lab. And he's like this scientist that's been getting really viral with making these really high quality podcasts. And he made one on testosterone, which you can go and have a look at, which was really educational. And he ended up mentioning that one of the core parts of testosterone is not what everyone has been saying. It's just about masculinity. It's just about getting your dick hard or anything. He's actually near the start of this said, testosterone makes effort feel good. That was like his summary of testosterone, which was so interesting because I thought he was going to say like, oh, testosterone makes you an alpha male or some shit, or muscle or something. But it was just specifically when he said that testosterone makes effort feel good. Challenges, discomfort. It makes those things feel good to you. It makes pushing yourself hard feel good. You always had that one friend when you were a little bit younger and you used to go to like sports class in school. That one, like those few guys in your class who seem to enjoy actually pushing themselves hard. Whereas like for most of the guys in there with like, moderate levels of testosterone, maybe quite low levels these days, we kind of like, we didn't actually enjoy or feel good pushing ourselves. Pushing ourselves hurt and it kind of felt negative. And so we didn't really do it that much, but there was those few athlete kids that literally loved to push themselves, and they were always the ones who were like left standing up at those like slightly competitive challenges where it was like in the UK we had this thing called the bleep test where you had to just keep running from this line to this line to this line to this line on this like noise, and essentially like people do it and within like a few minutes or even seconds the fat kids start sitting down because they can't do anymore. Then a bit more, then it's like the skinny fat kids, the slightly unhealthy ones, me, literally sit down. Okay, then there's like the about the average kids now. Okay, one by one they're starting to sit down, they're just tired. You literally just have to keep running from this line to this line, this line to this line, this line to this line. And okay, most kids are sat down. There's like the top 20% of these like quite athletic kids and they're all challenging each other, but then the couple of guys, they get too tired. And then it's like the top 3 guys, these competitive, pretty much young athletes, and they literally seem to enjoy this effort. I could probably bet that those kids at that moment had a way higher testosterone than all the little chumps sat down, and I was one of the chumps. Testosterone makes effort feel good. You have at least 10 times more testosterone than girls your age. Use it. Understand that when we push ourselves, we will actually feel good and we will actually feel better the more often that we push ourselves. So if it's like the first time that you're physically training your body and really, really pushing hard, it's gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be really painful. But if you're actually used to training hard as fuck, close to failure, really, really pushing, especially in the higher rep ranges, when you do exercises, and if you don't just do strength training and you do actually more like endurance training, you do, 30 reps or something, then you can really see how fucking hard you can push. When you do that more consistently, you'll start to actually embrace these challenges and enjoy them more, which is a sign of testosterone. It's also a sign of just, building up the strength and the psychological like stories, or, like the things you would say in your brain as you're going through this shit. And David Goggins is a big guy for this as well. I think a lot of young men struggle to embrace challenges these days because why? Why would a young man these days struggle to embrace challenges? Maybe it's just the death of our testosterone levels. Maybe it's because we've all got like actually very low testosterone. What's interesting, I just got my testosterone results back a few days ago. I did like a full-on blood panel when I came back to the UK, and my testosterone levels were actually kind of low. They were what they used to be like a year or two ago before I really ever like started to improve them. And it was like 400 nanograms per for the deciliter. You know, like the number's 400 essentially, and the free test was like 0.3 or something like that, right? So it's still healthy, and the doctors came back and said, oh yeah, it's still healthy, it's within the normal range, but it's 400. And that was mine. And I sleep pretty well. I don't take drugs, alcohol, medication, none of that bullshit. I don't smoke. I eat well. I take like pretty good supplements and everything, and mine was 400. I have no symptoms, so that's the thing. That's why I'm not really giving a shit, because it's like I don't even care about the number these days, because my dick gets hard, my muscles being built, I'm losing fat, I still enjoy challenges, I enjoy work, so I don't really have any symptoms, so I'm not really caring about the low number. But it is interesting. So the science is proving technically that I've got healthy testosterone, but if you compared it with our great grandpas, they would literally think that this was like a fucking sickness going on with men our age. Chances are you probably have somewhere close to what I've got, which is like 400, 500 nanograms for the deciliter, which is very low. Our parents, like our dad, for example, he probably started with closer to 800 to 1,000. And our great like grandpas, you know, the start of like the 1900s or the late 1800s, they had well above like 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. And we believe, like I saw some shit, I don't know if this is real or not, I saw it in some like YouTube video, that like by the investigation and research of like male skull shapes, and you know like there's people who dig up like skeletons, and they see that skulls have changed in shape 10,000 years ago, 100,000. You know, there's what's the job title, like archaeologist or something, right? People will go and like, you know, investigate the skulls. They'll see human remains and investigate it.